Since its introduction in 1951, the four-stroke Dreamy's engine had increased in size every year. Starting out at 146 cc's, the changes continued through the 2E, the 3E, and the new 1954 220cc 4E. However, the 4E was running into some unexpected problems.
Huh?
Customers were complaining that the engine would stop while braking, and that the engine stalled when riding at low speeds. Sales came screeching to a halt.
How is it?
Well, it does stall.
Let me try.
Okay.
It's running perfectly. What the?
Maybe the short stroke is the problem. Boring out the engine to 220cc was more than it could take.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with my engine.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Oh, Kawashima. How did it go? We have 100 million yen bill that has to be paid tomorrow. How much money do we have?
Only about 100,000 yen.
100,000 yen? Well, what are you standing there for?
Huh?
Go get some money!
Yes, sir!
Just get that money!
Okay!
In 1954, the economy was in a bad recession, and owing to a few miscalculations, Honda was facing its most serious crisis since its foundation. First, the F-Cub wasn't selling like it had before. Other makers were flooding the market with products just like the popular Cub. Launched at the same time as the Dream 4E, the Juno debuted as the world's first electric start scooter and was loaded with the latest technological advances. However, its heavy 170-kilogram weight and unwieldy handling made it surprisingly unpopular, and sales suffered. On top of this, the newly released Bentley J had gear and tappet noise problems that were giving it a bad reputation. And now, even the Dream 4E was having problems. Of course, Fujisawa could never have imagined that all the company's main products would fail at the same time. On the other hand, assuming that all these models would be great successes, the year before, the company had purchased over 450 million yen in machine tools based on an operating capital of only 6 million yen.
We'll have to cut production sharply. But where will our operating capital come from? How can I pay the bills in June? How?
Fujisawa then made his decision. He set out alone to the Saitama factory and called together the workers there and candidly explained the critical situation.
This is Honda's darkest hour. If we can get past this, we can get back on our feet again. It's time for emergency measures. We need you to build last year's 200cc Dream engine and build as many as you can in 5 days.
What makes you think it will sell at 200 cc's?
It will!
Across town, Soichiro desperately searched for the cause of the Dream 4E's stopping problems, hoping to dispel the notion that the short-stroke design he'd adopted was at fault.
It can't be the engine. It must be the carburetor. But how to fix it?
Next, Fujisawa assembled all the company's outside suppliers for a meeting. While seemingly beyond the bounds of common sense, in true Fujisawa fashion, he explained the situation with measured sincerity.
You mean to say you're only going to pay us 30% on even the new parts we deliver?
That's right. Currently, we just don't have the funds to pay for your parts in full. Therefore, for the time being, we would appreciate it if we could somehow postpone our payments to you.
Are you out of your mind?
That makes no sense.
Are you crazy?
We sincerely apologize. In return, we promise you that all outstanding bills will be paid. We will honor all our debts. We beg your understanding and full cooperation.
Air, gas, primary. Engine stalls at low speeds. So the fuel mixture is rich. Now, if we just narrow the needle jet... Hey, it's not stopping. Look, it's not stopping. Yes! Okay! Okay! Okay!
The next morning, Soichiro traveled over 100 kilometers south to a carburetor maker in Odawara City and requested a modification.
How is it?
Looks good.
Okay, start the engine. Close the throttle.
It's not stopping. It's fixed.
Right. So it was the carburetor.
Really? Oh. Okay, so we can resume production of the 220. Oh, good.
It turned out that the Dream 4E had two problems. First, the carburetor and engine were not in balance. And to make matters worse, the float chamber was badly installed. The carburetor just wasn't built to the precision of Soichiro's engine. Soon, the Dream 4E regained its original performance and eventually became one of Honda's biggest and best sellers.
Thanks to you, the Dream is fine again, and production changes are underway. Now, if we can just pay that bill on July 10th, we'll be fine.
Sorry to make trouble for you.
Oh, not at all. It was a good experience. By the way, you once told me something about the TT races, remember?
Yeah?
The Tourist Trophy Races are an internationally renowned motorcycle racing event that's been held every year since 1907 on the Isle of Man. Its 60-kilometer course circles the island along winding public roads, with over 200 curves and corners climbing from sea level to mountain heights of 400 meters and back. The course is raced at average speeds of up to 150 kilometers per hour. Without question, the Isle of Man is the premier stage of motorcycle competition.
Why don't you give it a shot?
What are you talking about?
You've been saying all along that you want to take on the challenge.
But at a time like this?
All the more reason to go. The boys are exhausted by the poor economy and our defect problems. They need new hope.
I suppose. I have always wanted to test my engines against international competition.
You should do it. The money will take care of itself somehow.
Incredible. The Isle of Man, you say?
Once the Dream 4E problems were resolved, Fujisawa set out to begin full-scale fundraising.
The Dream's problems have been solved, and our future is bright. We're now replacing the carburetors of all previously sold bikes at no charge. So, you'll be seeing more and more Honda motorcycles on the road.
Really? This recall is entirely at your expense?
Yes. We estimate losses of about 80 million yen. But that's nothing if we can get production back on track soon. Once we get past our current difficulties, we'll be ready with state-of-the-art facilities found nowhere else in Japan. And, led by a genius named Honda, we'll soon be introducing machines that are even better than the Cub. My mission is to take this company beyond the borders of Japan and deliver Honda products to the world.
I see.
Takeo Fujisawa was not one to bow his head to a banker in order to secure a loan. He spoke of the company's dreams and convinced people to buy into those dreams. In the end, Mitsubishi Bank agreed to provide Honda with financing to the tune of 200 million yen. In June of 1954, Soichiro flew to Europe to observe the TT races. No one would think to allow a company president to travel overseas just before settling a large bill critical to the company's survival. No one, that is, but Takeo Fujisawa.
Sorry. Wow! Fast!
The level of competition here far exceeded Soichiro's expectations. The European machines were putting out 3 times the horsepower of Honda's engines with the same displacement.
I've only been a big fish in a small pond.
Ah,
So, did the check clear?
mm-hmm.
I see. Well, I much appreciate it.
Not at all. So, what's with all the baggage?
This? Oh, all motorcycle parts. I spent my last yen.
That's just like you.
Undeterred by setbacks, Soichiro was able to see with his own eyes the most advanced technology in the world. Soon, after recovering from the crisis of 1954, the Honda Motor Company was achieving dramatic leaps in growth and continually setting new records in Japanese motorcycle production. In less than 5 years, Honda debuted in the TT races that Soichiro had aspired to and won acclaim throughout Europe for its unique motorcycles. The world was astonished by their watch-like detail and precision like nothing we've ever seen before. And just 2 years later, in testimony to their performance, these epoch-making machines went on to win their first victories on the World Grand Prix circuit at the Isle of Man.